Hello, I'm Joe Wren and welcome to Indiana News Desk. A deadline came and went this week for Congress to agree on a new budget. So since Tuesday, the government has been shut down. You may not have even noticed since you're still getting your mail, and if you filed for a tax extension, you still have to pay it on October 15th. But as Gretchen Frazee reports, thousands of Hoosier workers are feeling the impact, and the longer the shutdown continues, the worse it will get.
Many of the desks at the National Guard headquarters in Indianapolis sat empty Tuesday. 1,000 federal technicians across the state had been sent home because of the government shutdown. Jeff Lowry was one of the last to leave.
I'm going to look for another job. You know, there are things I need to do to provide for myself and my family, and that's what I'm going to have to do.
Lowry and his co-workers were given 4 hours to clean out their emails and cancel any meetings. This is the second time this year Lowry has been furloughed. He had to take off 6 days this summer because of sequestration.
That didn't affect me too much. You know, I still was able to drill on weekends. I was able to supplement my day-to-day income that way. So this is going to be a harder hit because this is going to be 0% income for the time being.
All the units within the Indiana National Guard and all the directors are required to determine what is mission essential and what is required to be done. And of course, we'll do our best to fill those gaps without those federal technicians in our folds.
In other words, the National Guard had to decide what and who were essential, those that were not getting furloughed. Indiana has around 22,000 federal employees, and all federal departments had to go through the same process to determine who got to keep their job and who didn't. That's led to many federal departments offering limited or no service. In addition to the National Guard furloughs, the national parks in Indiana, including the Indiana National Dunes Lakeshore, and even the National Parks Department website have shut down. Veterans Affairs hospitals and clinics are still fully operational, but those applying for new benefits could see delays. Some federal courts are cutting back on their workloads, but Hoosiers are still getting their Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security checks. And the U.S. Postal Service and Federal Highway Administration, along with some other transportation services, are still open because they get their funding from fuel taxes rather than congressional appropriations.
The Hoosier voter should be outraged. This is not the way a great government conducts itself.
Lee Hamilton was a congressman the last time the federal government shut down in 1995 and 1996.
Back in the 80s and the 90s, a long time ago, you would have an occasional crisis come along, and a government shutdown occurred. Here, we're dealing with it all the time. If we solve this problem, we got one 2 weeks from now with the debt ceiling increase.
Hamilton says Indiana's congressional delegation has spent too much time bickering instead of trying to come to a solution. He says until they stop trying to assign blame, things are likely going to get worse.
Everything will become more difficult. Running the Defense Department, running the FBI, because you're dealing with problems that accumulate during a shutdown.
In the meantime, the state government is filling in some of the gaps. Indiana has enough cash reserves to maintain some federal programs, such as food support for low-income women and children, for another month. The state is also spending around $33,000 a day, paying the salaries of more than 240 National Guard state employees, who are typically reimbursed through the federal government. The governor has promised to pay those workers for 1 week. If the government is still shut down come next Tuesday, he says he'll have to reassess the situation.
And we're now joined by political science professor Marjorie Hershey with more on the government shutdown. Well, here it is, day 4. Any updates for us?
I only wish. I'm afraid this may take a long time. The last time we had a shutdown, as Representative Hamilton has said, in 1995-96, it took 21 days under 2 separate shutdowns to get this resolved. And the big question is, on October 17th, we run out of the government's ability to borrow money. The debt ceiling is reached. If there is not a solution by then, the consequences become much bigger.
So in terms of, like you said in the story, we saw Congressman Lee Hamilton say that these weren't as frequent as they were decades ago. Mm-hmm. Do you think this is a new thing? Are we going to be seeing more of these deadlocks in the future?
For a time, yes, we probably will, because the problem here is that although we like to think that every member of the House of Representatives thinks about the whole nation when he or she votes, They are elected by specific districts, and some of these districts are in rural Oklahoma and have very different views from those districts that are in Center City, Chicago. And the folks who are elected from rural Oklahoma and lots of other places like that have a lot of Tea Party support in their district. And that Tea Party support is telling them, go for it, keep the government shut down. You know, the more we shut it down, the more they'll realize we don't even need a government at all. So they are hearing things that are different from what we're hearing. And they're hearing, keep up the shutdown.
800 people have already applied in Indiana for unemployment benefits. There's also been talk that Congress will retroactively reinstate some of the money that's being lost right now. But so this is not about saving money. What's this all about?
This is about the Republicans in the House making a last-ditch attempt to stop the Affordable Care Act. They have the right to do so. On the other hand, those folks who carry around constitutions in their pocket know that there's a procedure for passing laws. The House and the Senate pass the law, the President signs it, the Supreme Court, if it's asked, decides whether it's constitutional or not, and then the bureaucracy implements it. We've had that procedure. It's over. It's done. This is the law. So this is a last-ditch attempt to go around that congressional and constitutional process by which the Affordable Care Act became law.
When will the shutdown begin to affect more people, and who should be worried if this were to continue?
I think the really scary time is when the debt ceiling limit is reached on October 17th. That could affect the credit of the United States, which means if we're downgraded, we're going to have to pay a lot more interest for people to buy our treasury bonds and various other kinds of securities. We're all being affected now in ways that most of us don't even see day to day. But it's probably not going to stop until the Republicans decide that this is going against them politically.
Okay, well, thank you very much for adding your perspective.